Hey everyone, this is Tyler from Sure to Shame, bringing you your breakdown for UFC 217, the return of George St. Pierre. Uh, Great card this time. Lots of epic fights on this one that I'm really looking forward to. Uh, let's see if that weigh-in knocks a couple of these off though, because that seems to be happening a lot recently for the big cards. There's like cancellations in the last 24 hours before the event, and the whole card just kind of goes into chaos. Speaking of which, kicking off this card, we have Johnny Hendricks, who missed weight a couple times at welterweight, and then he missed weight at middleweight. Do you think he makes weight this time? Let's see. Uh, he is fighting Paulo Borrachina, uh, who is walking in at 6 feet tall. Johnny Hendricks is 5'9". Borrachina has a 3-inch. Whoa! Imagine if he had a 3-foot reach advantage. 3-inch reach advantage. Uh, so he is much more noticeably the bigger guy in this circumstance. Uh, let's not kid ourselves. This is a punishment fight for Hendricks. This is one last one to kick him out the door because Dana is pissed at him. I thought he was cut after he missed weight at middleweight, but they want to give one more guy a chance to earn a name off of him. Johnny has lost 5 of his last 7, and then he missed weight at a higher weight class. Dana hates him right now and wants him gone. So he gave him Paulo Borrachina, an up-and-comer, who's on a 10-fight winning streak. He's never lost a fight. All his fights are stoppages. Most recently knocking out Olawal Bangbosi, I think it's pronounced. Paulo Borrachina, if you're unfamiliar with him, he is basically a middleweight Overeem, heavy striker, Dutch kickboxing style, who has power, and he is able to have some ground game submission. I don't think he'll be able to take down Hendricks, but I think he'll be able to do some stuff off his back if it gets there, which I believe should and is Hendricks' game plan going into this one. He needs this win. He needs this win before his career is over. He got knocked out by Tim Bosch after missing weight, and so that chin's starting to go for him. So they put him up with a knockout artist. I don't like Borrachina's. I don't like Borrachina if I'm the Hendricks camp. Hendricks is a decent striker, but he should be looking to take him down. Don't strike at all. Don't throw a single punch in this round unless you got Borrachina on his back. But I'm going Borrachina. Second round KO, I think. But as long as he stays patient and doesn't give Hendricks the opportunity to take him down. After that, we got Thompson versus Masvidal. Thompson is coming in with a 2-inch height advantage, fresh off that Woodley saga, and wins over McDonald and Hendricks. Masvidal is coming off a loss for Maya and wins over Cerrone and Ellenberger. If I'm Thompson, I'm going to be using that sidekick. Make this a sniper battle. Don't let this become a fight. Point strike this time. In other words, what you did with McDonald that bored the crap out of everybody in the arena. I was there. Everybody hated it. But you're going to need to do that again. Sorry. You're not going to win any fans with this one if you also want to win it. If I'm Masvidal, don't use teeps. You want to be on the inside of this one. Stay in boxing range. And the knockout will come. Ellenberger saw a lot of success against Thompson by staying in boxing range and using that hook. If I am Masvidal, I'm also going to be making use of that leg kick. That good karate stance from Thompson. You're going to want to chop that down. Make that very uncomfortable for him. I am going to go with Masvidal in this one. Screw it. I'm going to say KO. First round. I don't know. I like it. After that, we got Joanna versus Rose Namajunas. Rose is coming in kind of an underdog in this one, in my opinion. Joanna has a half-inch reach advantage and a 1-inch height advantage. Joanna has recent wins over Jessica Andrade, Karolina Kowalkiewicz, and Claudia Gadelha. She's coming in with a pretty sizable striking advantage, which is Rose's kind of bread and butter. Rose will want to take this one on the ground, but we've seen how many grapplers and submission artists come in against Joanna, and nobody's been able to take her down. Nobody's been able to do much with her on the ground, let's say. Gadelha was able to victimize her a bit, but she gassed out. I don't think Rose's takedown game is that sophisticated to be able to do what Kaladja couldn't. Rose has some wins over Watterson, Tisha Torres, Paige Van Zandt, and Angela Hill. The Angela Hill one makes it interesting. The Paige Van Zandt one is interesting just because they have that long kickboxing style. So I think that's pretty similar. But the loss to Kavakovich puts a lot of that into doubt. Her loss against Esparza is what really makes me worry because she buckled in her last title fight, and I don't know how she will handle this one. So I know that they're talking a lot about mental health going into this one. I really have to question where Rose is on this one. She might get swayed by the bright lights again. She might have those octagon jitters gone now and have that taken care of. Only time will tell, but the safe bet is Joanna by decision. She might be able to put on one of those highlight reels that she did early in her career with this one if Rose buckles. So I'm really not liking Rose's chances in this one. After that, we have Cody Garbrandt versus TJ Dillashaw. TJ Dillashaw is coming in with a 2-inch reach advantage, and he's going to need it. Garbrandt has great precision. I can't even say precision with precision. And he's got great head movement. Garbrandt fights a lot like Cruz, Dillashaw fights a lot like Dominic Cruz, and we saw what happened. Garbrandt destroyed him, made everything Cruz does look silly. Dillashaw might be able to use more of the footwork than the head movement, because the head movement didn't work a lot for Cruz. One thing that you have to notice, Dillashaw has more output than Cruz. He will be more aggressive. He will make this into more of a fight, for good or bad. My bet, it's going to be bad. I think Garbrandt throws some power at him pretty early, and I think TJ will get sucked into a fight and catch some really bad punches, some errant strikes, if I'm using that term correctly, and walk into something that he doesn't want to see. He's going to get knocked out early is what I'm saying. I will say that if Dillashaw fights smart, which he generally does, he will make this into a wrestling match where I think he does have the advantage. But I still think that he gets into a fight with Garbrandt and takes unnecessary punches and goes out. That brings us to our main event. Michael Bisping versus George St. Pierre, the return of the Canadian hero. When you look at this, the reach is actually the same. They're listed at 76-inch reaches, both of them. But GSP is listed at 5'10". Bisping is listed as 6'1". So that means GSP will have to strike up, which adds a layer to this. GSP's last fight was 12 days shy of 4 years ago. It's not great. That being said, Bisping's last fight was 1 year, 1 month ago. So they're both coming off a bit of a long layoff. Bisping has that great boxing precision. Everybody knows how this one. It's your typical grappler versus striker match. GSP is also a great striker. Let's not forget that. Let's also not forget that Matt Serra knocked out GSP. That's a little shout out to that dude we saw in a bar that seems to think that's a fun fact that nobody knows that Matt Serra has a knockout victory over GSP. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. When you look at this, the closest fight that GSP has had in his career since he went on this run was against Hendricks, who is a decent boxer with takedown defense. Michael Bisping is a decent boxer with takedown defense. So the real question, the only question about this is, can GSP take Bisping down? In his last fight, Bisping fought Daniel Henderson, who was not in the prime of his career, much like GSP, kind of, I guess. And Henderson was able to take Bisping down. But the problem is, GSP needs to take him down early and often. He needs to discourage Bisping. Bisping needs to see a mountain that he doesn't think he can climb. That's where the problem is with him. Bisping has a bit of an issue overcoming things. When his confidence is high, he fights well. When he thinks he's down a couple of rounds, things start falling apart for him. GSP needs to succeed early and put that doubt in Bisping's mind. But because I'm Canadian, I am kind of biased on this one. So I just got to say GSP by decision. And I think I've said all I can really say about this one. We just have to wait and see on this one. Okay, this is Tyler from Sure to Shame signing off.